Hello Linux fans, Rob here. Welcome to Linux Quest and another episode of Distro Flash, where we take sometimes unknown distributions or beta releases or point releases and give you an overview of the distribution in under 5 minutes. Now, in order to make this happen, I do the install in boxes virtually as opposed to my full-on detailed review where I actually install the distro on hardware. So the developer, Lucifer Conrad Reeves, who I believe hails out of India, reached out to me and said, "Hey Rob, could you take a look at my distribution, /Linux, specifically Anna?" And I told him that I'd be glad to take a look at this, and we're able to do this today through Distro Flash. So /Linux is based off of Debian and Ubuntu, and it uses a fairly modified version of the Cinnamon desktop. So it's kind of interesting out of the box. You'll notice that the application launcher is certainly different in Cinnamon. There are other areas where I didn't find as much difference in the look between the Cinnamon desktop and what's going on here within /Linux. However, the theming and everything is nice. So I want to give you just kind of a quick rundown here. The ISO for /Linux came in at about 2.9 gigs, which is fairly large for your typical 1.5 gig ISO on other Linux distros. Now the reason behind that is this is really a full-featured install, and what I mean by that is if you go through and look at some of the applications, there's not a lot of what I'll call junk applications here. You'll see things like Wine pre-installed, which is a big time saver for folks who need to run Windows programs, but also you'll see some other bits here that are different than what you'll see in a lot of other distros. So Chrome is pre-installed and set up for you, as well as Dropbox, as well as Skype. So that in part is why the ISO is as large as it is. Now under Office, instead of seeing LibreOffice, you're going to see WPS Office, which I think is a perfectly good. In fact, I'm pleased with what WPS is doing on the Office Suite side of things. So it was kind of nice to see that there. You'll see also your full rundown of sound and video tools, things like that. Let's go to other here, VLC Media Player, full list of accessories from backup tool, calculator to screenshot, things like that. You've got Plank here as a part of the theme and all set up. So overall, I'm pleased with the theming. It seems to be fast, but there is one disappointment, and this may be a setback for those of you kind of interested in something new, in that we'll go to System Info here. The Linux kernel is version 4.2.0-27, and I believe the Cinnamon desktop version comes in at 2.8 versus, I think, what are we now, 3 point something. At any rate, I believe that Lucifer Conrad is working on a revised version of /Linux, and I think with some updating and everything, this would certainly be something to take a look at. Let's take a quick look also here into settings at the theming. And so you're going to see the popular Numix theme as well as a popular GTK theme called Paper. And then here under Desktop, we have Windows 10 Lite, which is kind of interesting. Overall, it's got a nice look out of the box. I know that's subjective, and it's also a full-featured install. So if you're looking for something that's maybe got Wine pre-configured and set up out of the box, maybe you use Skype, and you rely on Windows software so that you could possibly install that software through Wine. That's already set up for you, so perhaps this would be worth a look. I would like to see a refresh or an update with a more current version of the Cinnamon desktop and a more current kernel, but beyond that, I think he's done a nice job here, and this is something to take a look at. Hope that helps, and we will check you later.